Okay, Jordan.
Yeah.
As a science journalist, I'm most interested in your take on scientific toys. I know some are still made, so two-part question.
Okay.
Are there many collectors that still specialize in them, and how well do they sell?
Very, very good question. Let's take it in two parts, okay? There are the scientific toys like microscope sets, that type of stuff, which people still collect, not as readily as like the other toys. And I have people who are buying like the scientific sets, like the models where you can see the inside of the body, and sort of like, you know, the microscope sets where you have all the little, you know, bugs and everything, the cells you can look at. They sell sort of okay on the secondary market. When you talk about science fiction sets, like Micronauts and Star Wars and everything, those go crazy and everything. You know, it's funny, when you try to keep it real in the toy market, it seems like people really don't want to go for it as much as the science fiction aspect. They find that more fun. A little sad sometimes, though. I personally like the more realistic things.
Great. How would you describe yourself in just a few words?
It's a great question. Inquisitive. I like to always find out new things and learn about things. Fun-loving. I like to have a good time about everything. And I would like to say tenacious. A lot of people always tell me that I like to keep going after stuff. If I can't find the answer, or maybe a particular toy or the answer I'm looking for, I keep going after it until I can find the answer I'm looking for.
That's great.
I'm great at arguments. I keep arguing until I get the answer I want.
Right. Okay. As a whole, toy collectors can be eccentric and imaginative.
Okay.
Have you observed that those qualities tie in to like other hobbies that involve curiosity and imagination, like astronomy and other science fields?
It is. And you know, I'll add another adjective on there. I'll add passionate, because a lot of the toy collectors I come in contact with are extremely passionate about what they do, and that passion kind of lends itself to astronomy and the search of, you know, extraterrestrial life, or even, you know, terrestrial life, or anything like that. It's that passion that really draws them to the collecting of the toys and to their search for knowledge in other fields as well.
When you got started collecting, did you have a role model?
I didn't, to be honest with you. I sort of like had to find my way in the world. I'd say if there was a role model or a guide I had, it was another toy dealer, probably about 10 years older than I was, and he would take me around and he'd show me, when I was 16, you know, I traveled with him and a bunch of other guys, and he would take me around to all the local shows and kind of show me how to set up and everything like that. He's retired, he's not in the business anymore, but I still think about him every now and then, and when I see some of the old-time dealers like me, we tell stories about him every now and then. So he was more of a mentor.
Very good. Okay, specifically, how did you turn your childhood love of toys into a business?
Great question. You know what? You want the plain truth? The elevator pitch on this whole thing was, I got out of college and said, what the hell am I going to do now? I mean, really, I didn't want to go and do an office job. So I looked around and said, you know, I've been selling toys for the past 5 years and I'm making pretty good money at it. I think I'm going to go and try and do this as a living. So I had to learn really, really fast because I was actually living on my own. So I had my own rent to pay, my own phone bill, my own heat, all that type of stuff. Fortunately, it worked out for me.
Sure it has. What's the toughest part of your job?
Probably one of the toughest part of my job is educating people on toys. When they come to me and they think they're worth a lot of money, and they're not. They're just not what they think they are. So it's sort of that I have to step back and not be a toy dealer. I have to sort of be an educator and say, look, the toys aren't worth what you think they are, and this is why. And you've got to be part toy dealer, part teacher, part psychologist sometimes.
Really good. What's the biggest toy-related mistake you ever made?
Oh my God.
Toy-related.
I don't know how much time you got. I've made a lot of them. I think probably one of the biggest ones is I was at a store, and it was a chain, and they had this one particular toy, and I bought tons of it because I said, I love this toy. I think it's going to be worth tons of money, and I lost my shirt. And it's that speculative buying on the market that's so difficult difficult right now. It's very difficult for someone like me to pick out a toy right now and say, this is going to be worth money. I'm going to hoard it right now, and hopefully in 10 years it's going to be worth money. Stuff like that doesn't happen too often. It's getting harder and harder nowadays to do that.
Okay, another two-part question.
Okay.
Were you, or are you, into Halloween in a big way? And do you veer into costumes at all?
How'd you know that? Yes,
Do you really?
Yeah. Halloween is, without a doubt, my favorite holiday. More than Christmas, more than Easter. I love Halloween. I love the spookiness and the scariness and the witches and the goblins. I love Halloween. And I love dressing up with my friends, costume. I don't do cosplay at these conventions, but I love having the Halloween party, going out with my friends. I love that time of year. I love all the food and the ambiance that goes along with it. But that's incredible that you knew that. Does that go hand in hand with astronomy?
No, I just,
okay. It's really cool.
Okay, another two-part question. What's the hottest toy in the market right now? And apart from the hottest, what are you actively searching for?
Okay, hottest toy on the collector market or on the new market? Collector market? Interesting. I would say right now, the hottest toy is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They're extremely, extremely hot. They've got a new movie coming out from Michael Bay. So they are constantly making money for me. And what I'm looking for is, right now, more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because they are hot. And they are making me money.
Great. Okay, Star Wars made such a huge impact.
Yeah.
What's your take on the history of, you know, toys and science-related toys before Star Wars and, you know, the explosion of licensed sci-fi toys?
It's interesting, you know, it's even before Star Wars, we had the 1950s kitsch, you know, it came from Earth and the day the Earth stood still and Gort and all that type of stuff. I mean, they were more imaginative. Now a lot of science fiction toys, they have a little bit of more fact in them. I think way back in the 20s and 30s, they were just really just out there based on, you know, Buck Rogers and Tom Corbett, based on whatever the creator could think of and everything. It was just so out there, so weird. Pure imagination. Now you see that they're trickling in more factual elements too.
Okay. Do you see any major problems or issues in the toy production industry right now?
Yeah, a lot of them right now. A lot of the big things are problems we're having in China, just with trade agreements. A lot of safety requirements have to be met now that weren't around 20 years from now. So even if you have a great toy and it's a great license, it's a great product, you need to make sure that it's safe for children. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, we want our kids to be safe, but I know of probably about half a dozen manufacturers within the past 5 years that have had major product launches sort of derailed because they just weren't up to the safety requirements.
Wow, yeah. Are you working on any new projects that you can talk about?
We are currently finishing up working on season 2 of Toy Hunter for Travel Channel. If we do well and the show keeps doing well and gaining steam and momentum, we'll be hopefully working on season 3 of Toy Hunter. And when we talk about season 3, I hope that we go international. I'd love to do other countries. I'd love to see more celebrities and just more of the great toys that we all grew up with.
What advice can you give prospective toy collectors?
Collect what you love. Just love what you collect. Collect what you love. Don't collect something and have an ulterior motive like, this is going to be worth something one day, or I'm going to save this, it's going to be worth big bucks. Just keep your toys close to your heart. Have fun with it. This is a fun hobby. It's supposed to be fun.
Excellent. Last question. You have 2 friends,
okay.
A doctor and a billionaire.
Okay.
Doctor has bad news. You only have 1 day to live.
Oh my God.
Billionaire has good news. He'll buy you one final toy.
Okay.
Jordan, what's your grail?
My holy grail.
The one toy.
That changes all the time. I would have to say, right now, at this point in my life, I would have him buy me have him buy me a set of my very first Star Trek action figures, Star Wars action figures that I grew up with. so I can relive that childhood. Because if I only had one day to live, I'd want to relive some of the happiest times of my life. And that's when I was 7 years old, playing with my Star Wars action figures. My father was there, and my dad's still alive, and my mom is still alive, so I'm very, very lucky. And I'd ask them to have my mom and dad given to me, just like they did when I was 7. And you get me emotional. Now I'm emotional. Now I'm crying.
Jordan, thank you so much.
Thank you.